The Phantasmagorium show is proud to present Set to Stun, a Star Trek show that is an irregular one. My name is Scotty R37. Yes, I sound terrible, but don't worry, I'm fine. I'm joined by Antiderivative Say hello. Or not.
Hello. It's good to be here to
Is
remember
it?
how to unmute my
Is
microphone.
it? But is it really good to be here?
Um, well, it's always good to talk to you, whether or not I enjoy the content that I am talking about.
Well, I was referring to the content. I figured you liked hanging out with me, and that's why
I,
we were
I
watching
do.
content.
Yes, that is why we're watching this content because
Mm,
of the communication that we have about the nature of modern day Star Trek.
yes. And how do you feel about this episode?
Well, like every episode so far, the best I could say for season 3 and this episode is that it is a simple story that follows a plot that sort of makes sense within itself. But that's all I get from it mostly. Um, as far as positives go, this is probably my least favorite episode because what I was worried about from the first episode and every episode where evidence that Starfleet is bad was piling up, we finally get confirmation in this episode that
Starfleet is bad. Yep.
Starfleet is bad. And
Yep.
I normally try to be really nice on this channel where New Trek doesn't deserve it because I respect this channel and how you're trying to find the good in everything. But I am sorry. This episode has a lot of dumb things in it on every level and was somewhat insulting to certain aspects of Star Trek for me.
Okay. How do you want to address your grievances?
Well, I want to go through the
The
episode.
episode?
Yeah,
Okay.
did you make slides?
Did I make slides?
I don't know. Well, I mean, I didn't ask you pre-show, so yeah, this is definitely something we probably should have talked about before. But
No.
no, okay, great. Then I guess we just you normally have the summary for the episode. I didn't write a summary for the episode. I
Oh,
just have
right.
notes surrounding the summary.
Okay.
So if you describe, because I do have a bit. The opening teases you with some real Star Trek, showing the bridge crew. Oh, what? You do have slides, you liar! You tricked me.
Yes. Yes, I did.
Great.
I'm going to turn me off.
Can
Oh,
you
wait,
turn on the
wait.
light? Can you turn on the lights on the bridge?
Wait, before. No, but I thought the bridge looked good. But before I go, hang on a second. I have to. Hang on.
Uh-huh. What do you have to do?
I have to do this.
LDG is here.
So, LDG, free the net. Pa Wraith want their door open. Oh man, if it's Pa Wraiths, I'm gonna be pissed.
Well, they're stuck in the fires of the fire caves with Cisco. We haven't banished them or whatever.
First things first. First things first.
I don't know.
I am a huge fan of Star Trek: The Wrath of Khan. My favorite uniform is the Star Trek: The Wrath of Khan uniform. And my friend Terrier from Norway sent me a hoodie. And so I have a Star Trek: The Wrath of Khan hoodie. It was sent to me. It's really cool because it's even got the things. It's got the arm
The
thing.
ranks.
You know the only downside, and I did want to show this off.
What's the downside to this hoodie? What's the problem?
It's the double insignia.
Oh, I didn't know what that was until you said that. That looks weird. Oh, sorry. I have to mute for a minute. Things are going crazy.
Yeah, please do. The cacophony is deafening. So, but yeah, before we get into the episode, I just wanted to show off my my new hoodie. I'm going to wear it to church. And wow, we do have this moment of awesome. Share, do the things with the buttons. No, not now, not now. Of course now. Allowing. See? Shazam. This is the Bridge of the Titan.
Well, I do like what Mega Reacts says here because this is what I was thinking, and yeah, this is a nice hope to have, but I'm not feeling this hopeful that this is going to happen. But he says, my hope is officially saying the Federation is bad is designed to explain why the last 2 seasons of Picard were filled with changelings, which explains why everything is so bad, which is something that I thought about when we first found out about the changelings in the 3rd episode. But I'm just not feeling that that's going to be the case. I don't know. Nothing about this show is framed in such a way that drives towards that hope.
It was
He says, go ahead.
It was very strange because I found out on Twitter that what is it? Vatic is actually a changeling, not like
not part changeling and just like
a prosthetic changeling hand or whatever. I don't know.
Yes, that's what I thought, is that she was humanoid, but she needed a changeling arm, which is why she had to rip it off. But if she's just a regular changeling, none of this makes any sense.
None of it makes any sense.
Scientifically, we're just not supposed to ask any questions. We're watching a science fantasy season.
But that's why we're here, Jill. We're experts. I'm a Star Trek expert, everyone. If you go to court and you need a Star Trek expert, I am for hire.
Yeah. So at this beginning of this episode teases you, showing you Jill, the bridge characters.
Wait, yeah? Jill.
Sure, yes. Am I missing something?
No, I'm just going to ask you a question. If someone were to ask you to be their Star Trek expert in court, would you?
In court?
Yes.
I can definitely think of worse people, so yeah, I'd be pretty happy having you.
I think you're No, but I think you're qualified. I would hire you.
I'm qualified. No way. Well, I do have some gaps. I have some gaps in Enterprise and Voyager, but I'm pretty good with Deep Space Nine, which is heavily referenced in this episode. Okay. Oh my goodness.
I know. Anyway, Jill is on jury duty. Let me see. Hang on. Here we are. Buttons. There we are. So we have the lovely, extraordinary Bridge of the Titan. And everyone's happy.
Just a little tired from their escapade in the nebula that was not really a nebula, but giving birth to space jellyfish.
Yes. And then Jack Crusher has a murderous fantasy about killing a lot of people.
Yeah, and well, see, the way I wanted to frame it was that it was teasing us with some real Star Trek, with the bridge crew trying to work together after being with the nebula, and to still being the best character, talking about taking samples of the not nebula from the hull. But of course, this teasing is all a lie. It never happened. What happens is Jack is having a nightmare. Now you can go about the murder.
Has a nightmare murder.
Including Sidney LaForge. And so here his eyes are glowy red, like a kind of looks digital, really. So
totes. This is totally digital.
Yeah. No, but I mean like you know, people in the chat are saying Pa Wraith could be AI. I don't know. Who knows?
It could be.
Could be changing.
It could
be anything, because
anything.
This
I am so glad that you referenced. I have to say hello to the people in the chats.
Well, the chat's fun because they add to the conversation and make things a little more intelligent here.
Shut up. Mega React says Jack is possessed by Pa Wraiths. And LDG says not possessed, being called.
Oh, so that's the prevailing theory.
Is it all Pa Wraiths?
I'm not really.
Pa Wraiths want their door open? I You know what? That sounds interesting, except for the fact that they've used red so much that I am desensitized to red. Mega says, my hope is officially saying the Federation is bad is designed to explain why the
Yeah, I
last
did
2
read that.
seasons. You did, yes.
Uh-huh. And expounded on it. Unless you have something to say for it. Oh, hey, Cardinal Sin is here too. Hello, Cardinal Sin.
Hello, Cardinalson.
And yeah, so then we actually have a acting captain's log from Riker, and before he gives the command back to Shaw.
Yes. Sorry.
And so they're still repairing their warp core because of course they don't have a chief engineer.
No.
I have to go for a minute.
Okay.
I know I don't really want to leave you alone, but I'll be right back.
No, I'm one is the loneliest number you will ever do. But luckily, I liked the worker bees that were sort of hanging out and doing the reparations on the Titan. I did like that. And it was an acting captain log from Riker saying that they were limping back to Federation space, which was fine. So they go in and they officially do the transferring of command of the Enterprise, of the Titan from Riker to Shaw again. Everyone is happy. Then Picard says, I can't wait to face the music of whatever the Starfleet is going to throw at us for, hijacking this ship, endangering its crew. We don't know what's going on. And this is the scene where Beverly says, I don't think this is over yet, Jean-Luc. I don't even think it's begun. And so, I don't know. Foreshadowing, I suppose. And also, Jack has lost his balls. He found out he's a crazy person, as you just saw. And, we're just supposed to accept it and move on with it. He was a capable person. But now he's a crazy person. Suddenly. Meanwhile, on La Serena, the Macarena, Worf and Raffi are flirting. Ba 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 ba. Why? Denied. Worf looks something up and finds out about an AI security system that is at the Daystrom Institute, which is what Raffi is looking to investigate to find out what.
Okay, so did you already get past the part where Riker says now changelings can mimic by sight and not internal physiology?
I don't know if I said that. I don't think I got that.
That's one of the most infuriating lies in this episode because
Please explain.
Because the changelings have always been able to do that. If that were even true, the entire Dominion War in Deep Space Nine wouldn't have gone down the way it did. It's the changelings could always make it seem like they were human by the scanners, or else we wouldn't have had the whole issue of having to test their blood by the tricorder or the medical scanners.
For sure.
So what Riker says is completely wrong. They've always been able to do this. This isn't a brand new power they have from being evolved. A changeling will scan as whatever they are mimicking, as Odo has said. And
these
genetically,
changelings.
Yeah, the genetically modified changelings in this episode aren't really different, except now they can't really seem to morph as well for being more solid somehow. And this actually has been bothering me for many episodes, but I've been letting it go by.
Okay.
Because remember in Deep Space Nine, Odo was able to avoid being hit by phaser fire by making a hole in himself. But none of these changelings are capable of doing this. So I think somebody
Oh,
said in the chat, this evolved changeling is really just a downgrade.
kind of dummies.
And they say now they can pass the blood test, but changelings have always been able to pass the blood test because they've been able to kill somebody, take and use their blood.
Oh, yeah.
So, yep. That's what I had for that.
Well, I'm glad you had it. I couldn't have said it better, so I won't. So anyway, denied. We look up the AI security system in Daystrom Station. It's apparently scary. And we have to go find Kryn. Aren't you looking forward to meeting Kryn?
Yeah, and if you look in this file, everything is unknown. But if you also look at the following files, they also make a Easter egg reference to Morn and
Oh, really?
and Brunt and Okana.
And Okana.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I only got this screenshot. So you know what? I can't wait to find out more about Kryn. And it looks like Raffi is excited as well. So this is the Intrepid. And the Intrepid is the namesake of the Constitution class starship that was in the original series that was manned by all Vulcans.
Oh, before we talk about the Intrepid, there was one part that we skipped where did you talk about the part where Picard says that he's taking responsibility for everything?
Yes.
Yeah, technically he's retired and Riker was the one who was actually captain, acting captain of the ship. So that doesn't make any sense. Unless we're returning to seasons 1 and 2 where Picard is apologizing for everything when it isn't.
Well, no, but the entire reason that this misadventure has occurred is because Picard got a message from Beverly.
Okay, so forget chain of command. It's all just drama. Okay, thank you.
There is something noble about Jean-Luc accepting responsibility for the misadventure that they've been put upon.
Mm-hmm.
You don't find it noble.
Dramatic, yes.
Dramatic? Yeah. No, what were you looking for? Science fiction?
Yes. That's what I'm here for, dude.
Yeah, no.
I want some science fiction.
Wrong boutique. So anyway, where are we going? Anyway.
Right. Orphan Raffi fight.
Kryn. And then they go back to Blade Runner. And this is
Metalis, because Metalis is the most important planet ever.
Well, it might as well be. I don't see why not. It's weird. Wait a second, Jill. Can you look at the slide for a moment?
Yes, I'm looking at the slide for a moment.
Why is there a deflector dish out the back way?
Oh yeah, there is a deflector dish in the back.
I've never seen that. I've never seen a backdoor deflector dish.
Me neither. I don't know. I don't think I'm mad at that.
I'm not mad at it, but I'm just curious about it now.
And I guess it's fine.
I really like this ship design.
Yeah.
Now, when we
I do think they take their ships from Star Trek Online, and that's why the ships aren't so bad.
Yeah. Well, I do enjoy this. This is a hell of a lot better than the copy paste fleet.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're coming over. There's going to be a boarding party of security officers, but they're taking a shuttle. They're not taking the transporters, right?
Yeah. They're taking the shuttle. I like Orla Greg's response. French designer. They retreat a lot. That's why you need the deflector in the back. Okay, thank you, Orla Greg. That is why you need the deflector in the back. Lots of retreating.
Now, this is the part of the episode where Captain Shaw turns into either H. John Benjamin or Sterling Archer.
I'm fine with Sterling Archer because that's the reference that I understand.
Okay, well, they're both Archer. It's hard. I have to be specific because if I say, why is he being like Archer? But I'm in the middle of a Star Trek show, some people might think I'm saying Jonathan Archer.
Mhm.
I'm not. I'm saying Sterling Archer. But Captain Shaw is a cartoon character in this episode.
Mhm.
He's humming, he's chipper. And I was blown away, totally surprised, did not know this was going to happen.
Well, me neither.
What was it like to see Ensign Rowe?
What was it like?
Well, Commander, I suppose. Commander Rowe.
I have no notes on seeing Ensign Rowe.
I was so happy.
Well, I loved her in The Next Generation.
Yes.
Even in the season 7 episodes, lots of season 7 episodes weren't so great, but the second to last episode with her in it was pretty good. And as I understand it, you rewatched that episode today.
I did. I wanted to get context for that, but we'll talk about it when we get to 10 forward. Also, for people in the audience who are watching this, I do think that the dude security guard, I think he looks like Steve.
Yeah, too bad he's not here to receive that compliment. He'd love to hear that he's in the show.
He's in the show. So I was very pleased with that. I want to be a person in Star Trek, and so far I'm not. So I want to ask Steve if he was in Star Trek. So yeah, we get Riker reuniting with Rowe. And Picard is pissy, and Shaw is there. Also, we do know that there are security people coming from the Intrepid, and so Seven says, "Put on a Starfleet uniform," and Jack does.
Even though he doesn't want to.
He's not happy about it.
Yeah.
We had the death of the changeling from the last episode who didn't turn into a puddle. And apparently you have to... Can you explain the biology of this?
Oh, yes, I can. I'm just trying to find out where I am in my notes. So just a moment here because I'm having
Take
to
your
skip a bit.
time. You know, we can edit it out in post.
Yeah.
I should look into the chat.
Yeah.
I love your house.
Thank you, Alan.
Oh my!
Oops. Edit that one out in post.
This is counter post scarcity, but thank you, Mega React. You're a crazy person. Mega React says, I hoped Barclay was going to show up when they mentioned the officer did not want to use the transporter. I also hoped Worf was going to kill Raffi.
I'm glad
I'm coming.
And also,
I'm glad. I for one am glad they didn't ruin my broccoli.
I don't even know what Dwight Schultz is up to. Also, lore was stolen from the Institute. My main thoughts watching the episode.
That makes sense. Possibly.
Well, I'm looking forward to Geordi. I'm just waiting for Geordi.
Aren't we all? But in sickbay, just a couple of episodes, the chief medical officer was saying that Beverly needed to be caught up on 20 years of medicine. But now that doesn't matter. It seems like Beverly has taken over sickbay despite this.
Yes. Seems to be.
I need a second.
Yeah, no, I know. Me too. I need a moment to collect my thoughts about the medical division. medical department of the Titan.
Oh, okay. So, for what reason does Sydney need to be there to identify that the changeling isn't her? That doesn't really make any sense except to
Oh, it
traumatize
was
her.
lighthearted and comedic, you cold-hearted woman.
It was lighthearted and comedic to traumatize her and do what Utrecht loves to do, which is making girls vomit.
Oh, I've never noticed. I will take your silence as an acceptance of your apology.
I just have to mute every time my house gets loud.
No,
So
I love your house. It's fine.
So Beverly does she does say what we're all thinking. What we all know for a fact, that changelings revert to a liquid upon death. And so Beverly says that now the changelings can pass the blood test, but they could always pass the blood test. So really calls into question how much of Deep Space Nine Terry really cares about. All a changeling had to do was kill someone and hold on to their blood, like we said earlier. And so this...
No, I don't like it either.
Yeah, the only difference here is that now they're replicating the organs, so they're just replicating everything internally.
It's like when Beverly says, now we won't be able to tell if anybody's a changeling. And it was like, yeah, that was always the deal.
Yeah, that was always the case. The scanners always showed human
This
if the
isn't
changeling changed into human.
Yeah.
Or dog or whatever. Doesn't matter what it was. It's still read that way. So
I really like the episode when they go to Earth on Deep Space Nine and a changeling impersonates Chief O'Brien. So it's Cole Meany playing a changeling that looks like Chief O'Brien, and it's amazing. It's like, you think I'm your friend? I'm not. I will
that was cool.
Up.
No, yeah, that was neat. You're talking about Homefront.
Yes.
Yes. In Deep Space Nine.
So,
well, that was how you do it. Although it was kind of weird that the changeling was kind of just being boisterous about it, but
that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing now again.
Yeah, we've seen this before, right? So this is take 2 of the same story.
Totally. Anyway, old man is being old and still slouching. Another old man. He fell asleep. He's pooping.
Very likely.
Very likely. He has another murder fantasy. He's shooting. He's like killing people. So I didn't get that. Anyway, so back.
That's fine. He's just gone crazy.
He's gone crazy.
And he knows it.
Clap your hands. So
to turn on the lights in Metallis?
Yes. Yeah, this is very green. Everything is very green. And we get a Vulcan with face tattoos. You can tell he's a Vulcan because he's wearing an Idic and he has pointy ears.
Yes.
Jill, can you just tell me something?
Okay. He starts by saying an old adage that everybody's heard: pride leads to downfall. So that I can buy as something that a Vulcan would say, attacking emotion and saying why it's a detriment. So that's good. But then at the same time, saying that line, this is coming from a Vulcan who is betraying several emotions on screen. As you said, he was menacing and angry, and he
wasn't angry, but he had face tattoos. And
well, yeah, he was.
Face tattoos are not logical.
Yeah. Okay, maybe not angry, but he definitely betrayed emotion.
He did betray emotion. So anyway,
as if he's a disciple. You came up with this, that he could be a disciple of Cybok.
Oh, I love Cybok.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of Cybok? Do you follow his words,
Do I follow the teachings of?
Cybok?
So further, while I could buy a Vulcan being a criminal, there have been plenty before. What I can't buy is his lack of skill. He doesn't use his telepathy. He has this power that he could be using here. He could use his neck pinch. He could be using his mind meld. You know,
Sure.
it's been shown that you could do it against someone's will, and you know, he could have used these kind of things to take down Worf and Raffi.
I don't, you know what? I don't think that it, I think it would be cheesy if this guy, Kryn, if he pulls out his Vulcan mind meld.
Cheesy?
I think it would be cheesy.
Based powers of a certain alien species?
No, but I'm very protective about the mind meld. Like I do think that it is, like, it's always been introduced as a Vulcans don't like talking about it, and it's not comfortable.
That's true, but the way he's presented, he might as well just be human.
Well,
and he's just wearing an Idic necklace. That's as much Vulcan as he is.
He's got bling. No, but also, maybe, you know, this guy's never gone for Kolinar. I think we can agree.
Right. Very clear.
Yeah.
But he does figure out that Raffi's a hologram.
Yeah, because of the mobile emitter. And he's like, I'm going to put a cap in your ass. And then it's Raffi's far away using a scope. But then she gets picked up by the henchman. You can tell he's a henchman because he's got the pointy ears. Meanwhile, back on the Titan, we have shapeshifters' innards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they replicate all of the insides of a being now directly instead of just reading as such.
And
yeah,
Picard and Ro are very upset with one another. How do you feel about Commander Ro?
Well, there's some pointless back and forth where neither enlighten each other until Ro finally tells how she got back into Starfleet by turning herself in, probably whenever the Maquis were all killed in the Dominion War. And maybe, I guess, she escaped somehow, but this detail isn't really explained. I have no idea because she won't say anything about it, except that she made it back to Starfleet through some rehabilitation programs. And
aggressive.
Aggressive.
She said they were aggressive.
Then she does a blood test, but of course Beverly shares that with Picard that the changelings could pass the blood test, like they've always been able to do. This should never be a thing that anybody's just doing as a way to prove they're not changeling. It just took a while for Deep Space Nine to figure it out, but by now everybody knows. But Picard did have one good question. Why did Ro abandon the Maquis to join Starfleet again? And it does seem counterintuitive to her nature, but then she sidesteps that question with an absolutely empty and blanket platitude that provides no clarity or structure to her story. She says, blind faith in any institution does not make one honorable. And who said anyone was being blind to anything? What I think Terry's trying to say is that loyalty to what
Terry
you believe
Metalis.
in. Yeah, I think so. I'm projecting here. This is just my opinion.
Okay.
I think
you're
he's saying,
here.
yeah, and the group. Okay, so I believe that what he's trying to say is that loyalty to what you believe in and the group who is supposed to help you achieve that goal is not worth putting your faith in, because that group will always let you down. Because I'm starting to believe that Terry is a nihilist, and that is who Kurtzman hired to make Star Trek. And while Terry can write a better story than Kurtzman, he's doing exactly what Kurtzman wants by subverting the ideals of the Federation and making it impossible to find a path back to optimism, because of the kind of attitude that because this kind of attitude accuses someone who cares about the ideals of valuing life through diplomacy and defense as being someone with blind faith. And that is someone who will never find value in returning to that nature of the universe, which is what sets Star Trek apart from all the other dystopian science fiction. It's easy to write for a dystopia. And Terry's proving it. He's writing a dystopia that is he's putting plot points together, and he knows story structure, and that's probably why a lot of people are enjoying this season.
I don't know. I don't know. Well, you and I watched this episode, and I think this episode is really, really funny.
Oh yeah, unintentionally funny.
Mm.
Yeah, thank you, Cardinalson. Tell the construction crew to keep down. Hopefully, you can still hear me.
Oh, are you keeping track of the chat?
Every once in a while, I'm looking at it. We got Scogli here, Matt G,
Hey,
and
guys.
I know that. Yeah, they're saying lots of really great stuff.
I should totally look at that.
Yeah.
Hang on. Scogli Kyle. Anyway.
Oh, and Kyle Armstrong is here too. Great to see you.
Yeah. So anyway, where was I? We were Beverly says, medical emergency, you have a thing. The changelings. They're changelings, I tell you. Right?
Yeah, well, Ensign Rowe already thinks that Picard could be a changeling, so now Picard is very sure that Rowe is a changeling, so that makes sense logically. And so do they go to Enford yet?
No, not yet. But look at this image of Captain Picard going, ooh. So anyway, here's Steve.
Yes.
And
today. I wonder what he's up to.
I don't know. I don't know where he is. And so, Commander Rowe, what do you think? Like, okay, is she Section 31?
Of course, yes.
Like, she's got the vertical pips.
Well, like I was telling you before, everybody is Section 31 now.
That's true. That's
true. Like, who isn't Section 31? It's not even a secret organization anymore.
So Rowe says, let's go to the bar. Because that's the only thing the holodeck is good for.
Yes, the holodeck is stuck on this program due to budgetary reasons.
So Picard turns off the safety measures, and he grabs this phaser. I don't like the new phasers. And then they put down their phasers once they realize that they are brutally honest about their relationship.
Yes, the main thing I like about this scene is that it makes sense that both think the other is compromised, and the performance that they give to the feeling that both of them are compromised works well, even though the writing is bad.
Now, thank you for pointing out, and I did. Like, once seeing this scene, I had to go watch Preemptive Strike, which is the second last episode of Star Trek The Next Generation. It is basically the final bow of Ro Laren. She joins the Maquis because like, she was forced to choose between Picard or another elder mentor.
Yeah, right. And she chose Spicy Hasperat.
And she chose Spicy Hasperat. And yeah, I don't think Ro was wrong for doing so.
Oh no, me neither. I really liked that episode, and it did put Starfleet, even though it did kind of put Starfleet in sort of a bad light in terms of them kind of abandoning the people who were stuck on the now Cardassian planets because of the border change with Cardassia.
Yeah.
So it showed Starfleet kind of capitulating to the Cardassians for the sake of peace. And so you could really
Good of
understand
the
why.
many outweigh the good of the few, or the
Right.
one.
So you could understand why Rogue made the choice she did.
Yes. And it's a really good episode if you enjoy Michelle Forbes. I was, instead of making slides for this episode, I was just going to watch all of the Ensign Row episodes.
I would have accepted that.
Yeah, but it would have been boring for everyone else.
True. I would have enjoyed it more though. But I do like being able to tell where we are in the episode with these slides.
It is nice. See? These things that I do, they're not just for show. They have practical uses. So anyway, they put down their guns and they say, okay, we don't like each other enough that we know who we are. Right? Right.
Yes.
So anyway, face tattoo Vulcan yelling at Worf and
Oh wait,
why are they yelling?
There was a bit more in that scene, unless I'm
What
skipping
happened?
something.
No, what happened?
But even Rose says here that Picard couldn't understand her betraying him because he confuses morality with duty, and that is not true because Picard often went against duty in favor of morality on countless Star Trek episodes, countless occasions. So I think that was it. That's what I had for that scene.
I didn't know. Cardinal Sin gave us a $2 super.
Oh, Brad, that's awesome. Thank you, Cardinal Sin.
So that's where I'm going to start in the chat when we start paying attention to the chat. When do you want to start paying attention to the chat?
Whenever you like.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kids of all ages, before we get moving any further in this particular presentation, I did want to say that from what I understand, Antiderivative will not be having a Plomeek tea time tomorrow afternoon. But on the plus side, from what I understand, she will be having a shore leave after this presentation, once we get through with this. And so if you'd like to do that, you're more than welcome. We'll be over on Jill's channel following our Picard discussion. Now, one of the things, and I'm going to reiterate this with Jill, but one of the things that I found somewhat jarring throughout Picard, what was it called? Anyway, Imposters, whatever. I was wondering if they CGI'd the Rose nose. I don't know, because it went in and out of definition. There were times when she was Bajoran, and there were times when she was not. And I found it distracting. Because I was like, your nose ridges, they drift. So that was just a thing I had.
Yes, I agree. I think that probably did happen, but I don't have any evidence. So more research needs to be done for that. Very potentially possible accusation.
Anyway, so Vulcan.
No time to make fun of my diction.
What? No, it was good diction. So anyway, they fight. Right, aren't they? And it's like, you guys, we've captured you, and now you have to do fight to the death. Right?
Well, yeah, and also they make note that Sneed and Kryn grew up together and were like family.
For some reason, I care about that.
And that also they make note that Vulcans have blood oaths like Klingons, and Klingons have meditations like Vulcans. So,
well, that's kind of cool. It's kind of neat.
And they.
So anyway, they fight.
Yeah, and they also say one thing that I don't agree with, in that a Vulcan wouldn't be dumb enough to be a gangster, but they could, and they have found logical reasons of crime. So Vulcans really have been criminals before, so they didn't need to convince me of that. But
Well, but crime is a very basic equation.
yeah,
Do
right,
things that you don't get caught doing.
right, and you can use logic to finagle your way to any kind of activity, and
Right.
a Vulcan could do that too. But they explain it poorly here by saying utopia cannot exist with crime, which is a very juvenile parallel to the notion that good cannot exist without evil. And so that's not fun.
But Vulcans can be binary, I think. Anyway, this guy, where is he? Here he is.
Yeah. Yes,
He
this
sucks.
guy. He does. So, what does a
They
Vulcan
fight-
choose to do as a race? Which these Vulcans have influenced humans to value all life in the universe by example on numerous occasions, and this Vulcan very much doesn't seem to value life. And he puts these two together to fight to the death, including a gambling pool. And the only time I can ever think of Vulcans fighting to the death is during Ponfar, and it doesn't look
Yeah.
like War for Raffi or Vulcan, and this doesn't look like an ancient ceremony.
Well, see, it's so strange now.
Yes.
Like we are waiting, you and I currently. We are
Right.
wading through the filth.
Right. Yes, crap.
Like in this world, the first encounter between the Vulcans and the Klingons was aggressive from the Vulcans. It's the Vulcan hello.
Oh no!
This
Why do
version. No, but it's true.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. You're right to remember that we are in the Kurtzman universe where there were Vulcan terrorists.
Like every time I want to like this, I have to remember everything else.
It's true. They haven't decanonized it, so you're absolutely right to mention.
And I like the only thing that is going to make me happy seeing Worf on this season of Star Trek is he better say Jadzia once.
He hasn't said it yet.
Nope. And I am upset by that. Anyway, so he doesn't, but Raffi stabs him, and we're supposed to believe he's dead. Meanwhile, back at the bar, Rose says that every like the highest level of Starfleet is bad.
Yes.
Right?
Right. Changelings are everywhere. And Frontier Day is going to be a mess. Which
it's going to be a mess.
Obviously. Because the whole
Jill,
fleet's going to be there.
When did you start saying, when we've been watching this, when did you start saying that
Frontier Day is a bad idea? Oh, well, the first episode.
Yeah.
The first episode, Starfleet was bad. The first episode, Frontier Day, doesn't look like a good idea.
Both things you said. Frontier Day is a bad idea. I agreed with you. I thought it was a ripoff of First Contact Day. And you also said that, what was it? It wasn't Frontier
What
Day.
did I say?
Oh, the entire problem that you have with Star Trek right now is that Starfleet is bad.
Yes.
Well, now you know.
Right.
Starfleet is bad.
And of course, we do have Mega Reacts who wants to be hopeful that
I do
it's
too.
only bad because of the changelings. And once we get rid of the changelings, everything will fall back into place.
That's racist.
Well, the bad changelings, because you remember there are still good changelings. These are defectors from the founder homeworld where Odo is still alive, even though of course we do not have Renee Auberjonois.
We no longer have Renee Auberjonois. Odo is still there, but that's also one of the things. about like why it doesn't make any sense for Vatic and her crew to be changelings if they have to disassociate from one another to communicate. It doesn't make sense.
Agreed.
Like changelings, if they're connected, they can talk to each other all the time. Right?
Mhm.
Anyway.
Yeah. Well, when they're separated, they can only talk to each other when they're in the Great Link. Like they actually have to become in contact with one another to exchange information. I believe they can sense one another outside of themselves.
Yeah, but okay, and
But
I'm
each one is like a drop in the ocean, and when they get together, they make the ocean.
right. And so I don't know. I don't know what that kind of harmonium is when Odo went to the Great Link at the end of Deep Space Nine, at the finality of the Dominion War.
Yes, he went. Odo went back to his people to help them understand that the solids are not their enemy, at least the Federation.
Oh, wait, Jill.
Yes.
I want to say hi to PvP in the chat.
Hello, PvP.
What does he have to say?
He says, "Hey, read the chat."
We just did. Should we? Anyway.
Well, we could, but
We
I think the
should.
theme of this channel is to get through the episode and then read the chat.
Okay,
We
that
wanna-
sounds good. I
And
like
we're
that idea.
almost there. There really
Well,
isn't much
no,
to say about this episode.
No, it's longer than you think. Anyway,
Oh my god.
that's
Really?
what she said. Anyway, so Vulcan.
Right. Kryn thinks Worf is dead, and his sensitive Vulcan smelling is bothered by Worf's blood. But then,
It makes me sick. But then he shows up.
yeah, then Worf is okay. I mean, not really okay. He's still dying, but
He needs medical attention.
Yeah, he needs
says.
medical attention. Well, okay, so this is the This is the part I have a problem with.
What?
Worf says that he knows this meditation technique invented by Kalis that lets him drop his heartbeat in order to disappear.
Yeah.
But there's one problem with that. He's not a Jaffa from Stargate who's learned the Kelner Ream. This is a Klingon warrior who would not use tactics associated with hiding or playing dead like a possum, I would think.
Ooh. That's a good point.
I would have liked this scene better. They could have done the same thing if they would have played on the fact that Worf is a graduate of Starfleet Academy, where he could have learned a Vulcan technique, maybe that could possibly do the same thing. And that would make more sense to me. But I don't think that it's the objective of this show to make Starfleet even look good from a past perspective.
No, you do, like, come on. You do still have to remember that if Starfleet is in danger, the goal of the season is to save Starfleet.
I hope so. Is that the goal?
Well, that it has to be, yeah.
Okay.
Like the show may be like casting Starfleet currently in a negative light, but that's because of an infiltration. But the people who like Ro, sorry, I don't want to skip ahead.
Oh, I don't really care.
But Ro dies to save Starfleet.
Right.
Anyway, so
but I do like when Kryn says that, because that means that he wasn't paying attention because Sneed had information too and didn't stop Worf before. So he's mistaking Worf for
and he tells us about this place. This is the Daystrom place, right?
Yeah, that's the Daystrom Institute, where he has a device for breaking into it.
That's what it looks like.
Right. But never mind how this device exploits the AI vulnerabilities. It just does it.
It's totes. Anyway, there's Steve.
Yeah, hey Steve. I'm glad you could make it.
Hey, buddy. Anyway, so then Ro and Picard are talking intensely about stuff, And
All the
then
things.
Ro,
Yeah, she's leaving. She's leaving for the Intrepid to give Picard a chance to run. So she's like, get out of here.
what is the deal with the earring?
Well, what my problem here actually is that why isn't she talking to the captain of the ship about all this? Why is she talking to just Picard? I mean, Captain Shaw should be at least be invited to these meetings.
Well,
But
there is a consideration.
oh dear, I think I need. Okay, I do have something to say here, and
Go,
I'll say it,
yeah,
and then
I'll
I'm gonna
wait.
go. Okay,
No,
so
go do your thing and come back. I
no, I'm gonna
know how
say
to
this first,
jam.
and then I'll come back.
Fine.
So an attempt here is made at a dramatic goodbye, which
See,
fails even with Forbes' really good performance and her real tears. Like I really love Michelle
yes,
Forbes; she's great, but even she couldn't make up for this writing. So what they do to make up for the writing is Picard leaves her this earring, which is a symbol of which makes up for the writing, and it is also a plot device, as we see later.
as we do.
It's
Yeah,
it's an information exchange without any communication that such an exchange is being made.
yes, I agree with you. There it and the I
And now I'll
well,
be back.
okay. Then I'm just gonna say whatever I want. Um, when was that ever? You've always had that ability, sir. Um, but also, I think it was somewhat of a failure of this scene when, like, she wasn't wearing the earring throughout the episode, and so she like pulled it out of her pocket and gave it to Picard, which I don't know what the problem was, but it would have been a much more impactful situation had she taken it off of her ear and then given it to the replicant. It just makes more sense to me. But yeah, they reference that she's not wearing the earring, but she never really says why. It was a very strange, I don't know. Michelle Forbes doesn't like earrings or something. Meanwhile, on the bridge of the Titan, something is happening. People are unhappy. Oh, right. And we have to get out of here because we don't know who the changelings are. We have to go. And Commander Ro is on the shuttlecraft on its way back to the Intrepid. This is her doing paperwork. And this is the changelings, I guess, who are setting the explosive in the shuttle, which is counterproductive. But on the plus side, they get beamed away. So that's the bomb. And this is Michelle Forbes, Commander Laren. No, Commander Ro. Saying, hey guys, I'm gonna die. This is Transpo. Transport capabilities unavailable. So we can't beam Commander Ro off of the shuttle. So she is going to be incredibly brave. What's that? Incredibly brave. This brave. So she blows up her shuttlecraft into the the nacelle. I wish I were good enough to know whether or not it was the starboard or the port nacelle. Please correct me in the chat. I'm going to leave this here and I'm going to say hello. Cardinal Sin says, good idea. Euler Greg says, Scott has something. This is where I'm going to start with the chat. If you've said anything previous to this, I'm terribly sorry. Euler Greg says, Scott has something green to drink. True. LDG says, these are the type of errors you would get if you had an AI guide the plot. Like if you're talking about Picard, I kind of like I like human foibles. So I think part of the reason that I enjoy Star Trek is because I enjoy human foibles. I'm a McCoy man, says the crazy old. That's how we got Vulcan blood oaths and Klingon meditations and synth mind melds. No, dude. Ugh. I don't like synth mind melds one bit. I don't abide them. Scogli says, back in Deep Space Nine, when they were doing the blood test, the fact that they could even draw blood implied that the organs were being replicated.
Yeah, thank you, Scogli. That is a great point. They probably were. We don't really know what was happening. We just knew that if you had a tricorder or a rudimentary scanner, a health scanner, that it showed whatever the changeling turned into. So if they turn into a human, then that's how they read.
Matt G in the chat says, oh dear Lord in hell. I don't know if that's how it works, dude.
Oh yeah, well, the Lord of the Underworld anyway.
Jill, do you like metal?
Sure. Yes, metal is fine.
Okay, cool. What do we got? The blood reverted back to changeling blood glue.
In the vial after a bit of time.
Right.
Yes. That's what should happen. Correct. Nobody has Kyle Armstrong. Nobody has figured out how Jack fits into it because it's a continuing mystery that remains mysterious. Red Dwarf, which is referring to my ringtone. So I should be turning off my phone sound so that doesn't happen again.
Well, anyway. Yeah, I love the fact that this exists.
Oh, wait a minute. The change. Okay, so the deal with Rode dying. The changeling officer set a bomb on the ship and transport away, leaving Rode to die because she's not within range for the Titan to override the blockout. And I imagine
there's a transporter inhibitor.
A transporter inhibitor. That's what I meant by blockout. I forgot. There was a transporter inhibitor, and I imagine, I guess that's the same problem why Ro can't beam out the bomb, but she doesn't even try to beam the bomb out of the ship. She just accepts death and the sacrifice and slams into the Intrepid's nacelles, only damaging that part of the ship.
And it's on fire.
And it falls. The ship falls like it's in the gravity well from, like, it made sense in the last episode because they were in a gravity well. But now, why is it falling?
So we get another Picard face palm.
Yes. That's the reason they had this scene.
I liked this shot. I went back to get this shot of the... Like, this is a great shot. Like, visually, I am moved by this idea of a person reflecting on their failure as it is occurring. I like it. It's
well,
dramatic.
I guess it is a good depiction of what's happened to Star Trek in general.
Sure. Oh, you.
Me. I can do this because Steve's not here. Just kidding.
You can do it when
I
Steve is
mean,
here.
I know I could do it when he is here, but when he is here, we have to hear for 10 minutes why I shouldn't be looking for TNG because I'm never going to get TNG. I'm not looking to get TNG back. I just want Star Trek to follow itself, to be itself. I just want it to be Star Trek.
Right. Well, and you know what? And Jill, I think that you and I agree on Star Trek.
Mm.
And I agree with you that this isn't Star Trek.
But you
Like,
still like the shot, though.
but I still like the shot. Hang on. Anyway,
That's pretty much the end of the episode, right?
no. So the nacelle is still on fire. Still on fire. We gotta do. What are they arguing about?
Well, I don't know. I think I didn't. Riker. No, I don't know. I didn't take notes on this because you have the notes.
No.
Because I considered that you would have the notes for the entire episode, and I just had supplementary material for the notes.
No, at this point they're trying to convince Shaw that that the oh my stars, the changelings have taken over. Like
Right.
they make an announcement to the crew that says Starfleet is compromised.
That's true. They finally that means that they finally let the crew know what's going on.
Yeah.
Instead of keeping it quiet.
So this is what they're doing. We never meet the captain of the Intrepid. We only know that fire works in space. These are changelings, and Jack kills them mercilessly without knowing that they are changelings. Meanwhile,
yes, and he sees more red vines and the red door.
Exactly, and I don't care.
No, I know. I don't care either.
I just don't care. Then spaceships, and they shoot, but they miss because they go to warp.
Mm-hmm.
And then these guys, they sit and they talk, and then it's like, remember that Ro Laren? She gave me an earring.
I don't know why she gave me this earring. She said it didn't mean anything to her.
But then Riker puts it on the computer table.
Yes, and like Man from Uncle, we get
it makes all the things.
Super spy information.
So many things.
Right, coming from the jewelry, we get all the data.
They do the thing.
It's kind of cute.
Whatever.
It's like, yeah, well, they call it old spy technology. Yeah, old 1960s old, but of course, well, except for the digital aspect of it. But
so Worf is there. He calls. And he's like, we have to do things for the next episode, don't you think?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And they're like, yeah.
Yeah, let's do more stuff, apparently.
Then all these people, they're all marveling that they are changelings. It's like 4 on the same ship. Wow. Crazy. And Jack has killed them all.
Yes, without knowing that they were changelings upon his death. So he's like, there's something wrong with me, Mommy.
Yep. His mom says, what's up? And he's like, sad, I murder. And that's it. It's over.
Yeah. Kill I.
No kill I.
No, he did kill, though. There.
I'm actually very curious.
What are you curious about?
Well, I made a poll.
Well, you did make a poll. All right.
And I was wondering.
Well, it determines our fate for next week.
It does determine our fate. And I'm going to put you in charge of chat. But I want to know, what are we watching next week? Because if we're watching Picard, I'm fine with it. But I would so much rather watch a little Quantum Leap. Just take a week off.
But it looks like the chat has chosen Picard.
Really?
Yeah, 65% to 35% with 17 votes in. They have chosen for us to continue the escapade to learn more about the planet of Metalis Prime and how it fits into the greater, grander mystery of what kind of secret weapon is in the Daystrom Institute.
Well, then I am
guess-
looking
I guess that's the
forward
thing.
to it. I look forward to it.
Well, I definitely look forward to the conversation.
Yeah.
It is quite a bit shorter one without Steve here. But I don't mind being in charge of the chat if I know where I am. Am I at the super sticker? Is that where it was?
Oh, wherever. Yeah, let's start at the super sticker. Thank you,
Okay.
Cardinal Sin.
Yes. And Cardinal Sin says, I've always had a big crush on Michelle Forbes.
As have I. If you are a fan of Michelle Forbes, I would highly recommend the movie Swimming with Sharks with Frank Whaley, Benicio del Toro, and Kevin Spacey.
Mm-hmm. Swimming with Sharks.
Yes.
Okay. That's a good movie?
Yes, I think it is. Stokely says,
go ahead.
My jaw hit the floor when Michelle Forbes hit the screen. Dude, I felt like I wasn't even sitting. I was like, I didn't even. Well, Jill, we were watching it together, and I was like, Michelle Forbes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it was surprising.
I was flabbergasted.
But then they kill her.
Yeah. Well, and that's also one of my criticisms about the episode.
Yeah, agreed.
She's a jangly key. They bring her back to kill her.
They do. Her sacrifice isn't all that significant. There's just an exchange of dramatic dialogue.
Yeah.
Cardinal Sin says, yeah, seriously, could we turn the lights on in the ship? Well, I think Terry proved in the last episode that he can, but he just doesn't want to. Because every time the electricity hit the ship, all the lights came on.
Well, this episode didn't bother me that much with the lighting. Unless we were on Metalis Prime.
Well, I heard that there were actually technical issues with the lighting for the past couple episodes that were fixed. Not the lighting, but the encoding or the files.
Sure.
That made things darker or lighter.
Okay. The compression.
This is what I hear. Yeah, something like that.
All right. Well, then I'll have to buy it on Blu-ray.
And that's the joke of the night. Euler Greg says, let's all meet in 10 Ford for St. Patrick's Day tomorrow. Okay, but can we go to the real 10 Ford on the Enterprise?
Yeah.
D.
Yes. My 10 Forward does not have a jukebox.
And Cardinal Sin says, a whole lot of shaking going on.
Actually, my 10 Forward only has one record in the jukebox. And it is a whole lot of shaking going on.
So what more do you need?
Not much.
Scott has something green to drink.
True. I have lots of green things.
Yeah. And he started early too, which explains his voice.
No, this is the chain smoking.
Oh, okay. My mistake.
I wouldn't worry about it.
LDG says, these are the type of errors you would get if you had an AI guide the plot. Yeah, I very much imagine that LDG has been playing around with scripting with ChatGPT. And he continues, that's how we got Vulcan blood oaths Klingon meditations, and synth mind melds.
But remember the synth mind meld? I don't like that at all.
Me neither. Mega React says the reveal of Bashir being a changeling blew my mind back in the day, and me
That was
too.
cool.
That was awesome. I was completely not expecting that twist because Bashir and O'Brien seem to be doing great.
Like it. Okay, here's the thing, and this is the weird thing, but this is part of the reason why I fell in love with Deep Space Nine. Is okay. So at the time that you found out that Bashir was a changeling on Deep Space Nine, but actually on a prison planet, right?
Right. The
They
real.
were doing the uniform change,
Mhm.
which was natural to happen because First Contact had just recently come out, and it was like, when are they going to switch over to the new uniforms? And they did switch over to the new uniforms. But then, like 2 episodes later, they go and they find uh, Dr. Bashir, who has been kidnapped, and he's wearing the old uniform that they just switched.
Yeah, that's a great attention to detail.
It was really, and it was like, but it was in universe of like, okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are switching uniforms now. And it was, yeah.
Which uniforms do you prefer? I like the old ones
Which
because I
one?
like the colors.
I don't, if I, if, yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the First Contact
Yes.
uniforms, the gray ones.
I think that is the prevailing opinion that is taken.
But
I
I
think so.
really want to wear the Voyager jumpsuits. I think the people who are wearing the Voyager jumpsuits look good.
Well, as it always is in these live streams, I have a lot more fun talking about Deep Space Nine.
Oh, for
Skogly,
sure.
Skogly says,
But it's not our fault anymore, Jill. We asked the crowd, and it was like, "Do you want us to talk about Quantum Leap or do you want us to talk about Picard?" And they
I think
said
that's how
Picard.
we should frame it every week.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about Picard.
Yeah, we are. Back in
Filthy.
yeah, that's okay. We'll wallow in the filth as long as you guys want if we get all the way to 10 episodes. So Skogly says back in Deep Space Nine, when they were doing the blood test, the fact that they could even draw blood implied that the organs were being replicated. And Matt G says, "Oh yeah, you did read this one."
Oh, dear Lord in hell.
G's back.
Referring to you.
Referring to me, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Well, you're terrifying.
And yeah, the noises in my background are similarly scary.
Well, you have an army.
I have I have an army. I should put my army to bed. It's lights out.
No. It's their spirit that impresses us. Sorry, I'm going Klingon.
That's good. Cardinal Sin says, "Hey, tell the construction crew to keep it down." And Kyle Armstrong says the Borg genetically engineered the changelings to pass the cut blood test so they could steal lore.
Dude, Kyle, I'm curious how or what the entire inclusion of Brent Spiner, because I don't know what character he's playing. I haven't seen it yet.
Probably lore.
Probably, but I don't know. And I don't know how they're gonna fucking shoehorn. Sorry for the swears. I don't know how they're gonna fucking shoehorn Moriarty. I don't know how that's gonna work. I didn't even know that Roe was gonna be in this show. And I was baffled. I was blown away. So I don't know. It's just at this point, I don't really have much reverence for it. It's fun, but it's not. I don't know. It'll probably be special as being a last time for a lot of things. Don't you think?
Well, I
Like people are going to say this is
guess.
good because it's the last time a lot of it will happen.
I don't know if it being the last time makes it good anything, but we do know Moriarty is stuck in a cube. So the
Yeah,
last time we saw him, he was stuck in a cube.
true.
That's all I know. And Mega reacts. I echo your sentiment. I hate Section 31 too, and so
I do
too.
too.
So do Bashir and O'Brien. And there's
Yeah.
one scene where they're disgusted at what they've done when they've realized that they're the reason why Odo was infected with the disease and all of the changelings. And it almost feels like they want to start revolution and go take down Section 31, but we never get that movie. That would have been
Wait.
cool.
I always like the idea of Section 31 being pretty much a department of one.
Right, with just Sloane, the only representative you ever see.
Yeah.
And he comes out of the shadows and you never know where he is, and he doesn't wear a uniform. He's a secret agent.
Right.
It's not secret anymore.
Well, and that's the problem. The more people you invest into your secret organization, the less secret it like if you have a coffee machine at your secret agency, not very secret.
And Kyle says, I wouldn't post that online. They will send time agents to find you. To Mega reacts.
Well, at least the time agents are always on time. Come on, John Zia made the book the joke work.
Scogli says, I always hear it as
Starfleet. It's not Starfleet, it's Starfleet. I dig it.
Mega reacts says Cisco can get humans off Cardassian planets.
Yes. Well,
oh right, he can figure out how to get them off the planet.
But that was a Maquis issue.
That actually wasn't a very good moment for Cisco. Is he talking about the one where Cisco poisons the planet to force everybody to leave? That's kind of mean.
Yeah. Kind of mean.
But he had to.
Did you just say that poisoning a biosphere was kind of mean?
Well, I kind of have high regard for Cisco, so it's kind of hard for me.
I have high regard for biospheres.
I give him a lot of leeway when I probably shouldn't.
Sounds like it, yeah. Totally.
No, you're right, but I don't want to admit it. Okay, I got to be right back.
That's fine, because I do want to acknowledge something, Scogli. Yes, the Vulcan hello is canon. I don't like it, but it's canon. Logically understood that was the only way that the Klingons would respect them. Yeah, true. Worf, give me what? Hang on. Give me some skin. Gonna give me some skin, baby? All right. I'm assuming that's how that was supposed to be read. I do want to thank everyone for being here in the chat. I can't believe there are people who are listening to this horrible. I sound like Kathleen Turner after like just chugging Virginia Slims. Oh, what's this? Cardinal Sin says Starfleet writing is bad. The whole show is bad. I don't think it's bad. I think it's middling. PvP. Just watching Bald Spaceman episodes 4 and 5, Jill. Am I hallucinating? Or are you having a shore live?
Shore leave.
Whatever.
I have a shore leave scheduled for midnight.
Yeah, but that's for we have plenty of time.
Yes.
Do you want to end the show?
Well, we don't have to. We could read the chat
We
and
should.
then end the
We
show.
yeah, we should talk to the chat and then end the show, and then we're gonna go over for a shore leave.
Yes, on my channel.
Yay! Sounds like a
Yay.
plan.
Definitely need one after this.
Is it something I said?
No, it's something. It's the episode. I don't like it.
Was it PvP and how you missed his comment?
I missed all. Okay. We're not missing them now. We're reading them now. Gonna go. Too many spoilers. Yes, it is. It is true. We spoiled the whole episode.
Commander Rowe dies.
She does.
She dies.
She's dead.
She's dead. Totally.
This episode. Daniel's Hot Topic says this episode was so good, the best so far. Rest in peace, Roland.
Oh.
We respect all opinions here.
Well, but I like the fact that Roe was on the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's nice to see Roe
right.
learn.
I like seeing Michelle Forbes. She rocks.
Yeah.
As a person.
But, well, I don't know.
She doesn't know if Shaw is a goo person, says Kyle. Oh, okay. As an explanation to me as to why Roe won't talk to the captain of the ship. Thank you, Kyle.
Yes.
Why did she have to die? I loved her, says Daniel's Hot Topics.
You know what? And Daniel's Hot Topics, I was on Twitter the other day and I was paying attention to Michelle Forbes' tweets. And she said that she loved you too.
Cardinal Sin says, that's not a plot device. It's a small moon.
Yeah. Fair enough. Good answer. Worf killed more Gungans on this episode. Worf is a machine. I did like it when he killed all the Gungans.
Gangsters?
That's it.
No, Ro. No.
Well, when I advertised this, like when we were going to talk about it, this is why I advertised it with the tagline "Rut-row." So.
And Kyle says port. Port is left side of the ship facing bow.
Thank you, Kyle. I appreciate that. Thank you, Skogly.
Klingons on the starboard bow. Skogly says, I remembered it back in the day because the second started to the right and straight on until morning. That's
I do appreciate it.
The port nacelle.
You guys have told me that, and I will ask again because I'm not going to absorb this information.
Me neither. And no, I probably
we're
will.
your hosts.
Well, I'm not a ship person. And, you want a ship person. One person I really recommend would be Wolf 359. Is that his name?
Everyone
Wolfie from the Clobberin Times chat.
Everyone who just said port seems to be a pretty good ship guy.
Yeah. Kyle says that's a good way to remember. But the blood would Skogly says the blood would immediately revert back to the changeling goo in 10 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I figured.
And
oh, is this a compliment? I think
what's a song?
Is complimenting you. Oh, what do you want to sing it?
No, but I will.
Well, do it.
Jill is a punk rocker. Jill is a punk rocker. Jill is a punk rocker now. That's the best I can do.
Well, it was really not good.
Oh, no, it was terrible.
It was awful.
I can't sing.
Well, no, you tried, and I appreciate that. Daniel's Hot Topic says Jack killed the changelings. He sent them to Grenthor. I don't know. Is that a reference to something else? Because I know that Jack is in.
Jack killed the changelings. He sent them to Grethor. I don't know. I don't know what that means. Grethor? Who wants to tell me
Well,
about
no, but
Grethor?
I thought he was in like some show. Like, I don't know why it was Game of Thrones, but he was in some show. Was he in Game of
Well,
Thrones?
maybe Grethor is a place
All right.
because he sent them there.
I thought that the actor who was in Picard was from another like fantasy show. That's what I heard.
Oh, Daniel's Hot Topic says Grethor is Klingon hell. Thank you. And Mega React says it has small Star Trek moments followed by 90% space fantasy mystery box shenanigans. Agreed.
Yeah, Mega.
Exactly.
Mega, I'm going to agree with you, and not because you pay me the most.
Jack used Jack Fu and killed the changelings. Asses and killed them, says Daniel.
No, it was so stupid. I don't understand why Jack is now like he's what is it? He's Summer Glau from Firefly.
Well, but you know what? I'm so glad that Daniel's Hot Topics is here because we needed somebody who's actually enjoying this to be here. And he's serving that purpose.
But I'm still enjoying it.
Oh, you're still enjoying it too. Okay.
Well, no, but Jill, when we were talking about this, I said to you, I was like, okay, it didn't seem long.
True. It didn't.
It was very
paced.
quick. And I enjoyed watching it. It was entertaining.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, it was entertaining and insulting at the same time.
Well, I wasn't insulted. I just knew where it was wrong.
Yeah.
Why do you feel insulted when things are wrong?
I just do.
Well, why is it your fault?
PvP says just about through episode 4. Oh man, I could have fun discussing this one. And Dalek.
Your opinion.
Hey,
Dalek.
Dalek is here.
That's amazing.
Hi, Jill and Scotty. Saw you were on, so I've just been listening.
Thank you, man. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah.
Please subscribe. Lemon.
Yeah, subscribe to Dalek.
Yeah, Lemon. Subscribe to Dalek.
Yeah, okay. Yes, I do understand that sentiment. F it, finish the Picard show. You are halfway there. Yeah, right. Just to get it over with. I could understand that too.
But the thing is, no, but like, and that's the reason that I put it in the poll. And guys, like, we were talking about it and I was fooling about. And I was like, no, we're just going to talk about Quantum Leap again because I'm not invested. But today, I thought this episode was so bad, it was funny. It was so entertaining just for being like Ro Laren is a jangly key in this episode. She shows up and she dies. That's the entire reason Ro is in this episode. It's meant to give weight to exposition. I don't think this show is bad. I do not think this show is good. This show is fine.
I think this show is bad.
Why?
Well, I told you all the reasons this whole review.
Is it because of everything that you said?
Yes, it's because of everything I said.
All right. Well, then, okay.
It's a major disappointment. But I'm still watching it because it's a long movie.
Yes, it is.
Mega React says, you ever want to do a stream about DS9? Hit me up. I am in.
Have you seen Clobber Time Saturday Night Star Trek?
Oh yeah, that's true. If you go to Clobber Times on Saturday night, we're reviewing all of Deep Space Nine. And we're in season 5.
I'm thinking about watching Voyager,
That could be
but
fun too.
but
I mean,
that's because I love women.
well, see, Voyager is a great example of how easy it is to make a Star Trek show. Voyager
Nope.
isn't top tier Star Trek by any means. There are quite a few terrible episodes of Voyager, and yet it manages to still be Star Trek. So
I've
it's
been
not
having
hard.
terrible bouts of misogyny, so I thought I would watch Star Trek Voyager. Apparently, it makes me like girls.
I I didn't know about this affliction.
That's what I heard. Kate Mulgrew told me.
And Daniel's Hot Topic says, I love Section 31.
Why?
Well, that's what he's here for, to love the things we don't love.
Well, no, like I get, you know what? I get a spy organization, but part of the reason why the Federation is squeaky clean is because it doesn't have a Tal Shiar. It doesn't have an Obsidian Order.
Right.
The Federation doesn't do that. That's why the Federation is good. That's why we are happy being a part of them.
Right. That's why it's a future we aspire towards, the
Yeah.
future we want to be in, something for humanity to achieve, rather than miring ourselves in our current dilemmas.
Yeah.
Which we could already do in Star Trek. The avenue is already there externally, which I guess at least the show does have the external element with the changelings. Small favors. Dana's Hot Topic says, I love Cisco. He was the anti-Picard. People who were bored of Picard and his never-ending speeches and talking loved Captain Benjamin Cisco.
I don't know. Wait, can you go back to that?
Yeah, sure.
I want to see what this is. I love Benjamin Sisko. So do I.
Me too.
He was the anti-Picard? Well, he was anti-Picard, but I don't think he was anti-Picard.
Right. Me neither.
Like, he was a very thoughtful diplomat.
He was. And he listened to his crew, too.
He was an archaeologist.
Mm.
Anyway, I think that he was a gentleman and quite thoughtful. People who were bored of Picard and his never-ending speeches, not a thing.
There were a few. There weren't as many. I've watched all of TNG in order, and there are not as many long speeches as you might think. There are quite a few, but not as many as you imagine. They're just the most memorable aspects.
It is a talky show, though.
It is, but it's good. It's good.
I like it. I like it. Yeah.
The brilliance is in the dialogue.
You gotta hear it.
You gotta be listening. If you're not listening, then you're not getting the point.
Well, he's listening.
Oh no, yeah, no. I know Daniel's listening. I mean, watching the episode. Mega React says only toxic to humans. It's a Cardassian planet. What's the issue? Oh yeah, no, I don't like Cisco being made into the bad guy. That was not a good move for whoever wrote that episode.
Fine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it didn't kill anybody, so.
Dalek 451 has a great point.
Who cares about spoilers for a show you'll never watch?
True.
That is true. Cardinal Sin says, it's a really bad idea to bring back characters for a one-off and have them get killed. Bad writing.
Absolutely. I thought it was a disservice. Like, it almost looked like Paycheck. But
well, yes, but she also said No prosthetics, so they use CGI.
Like, is that a science fact?
No, I don't know. It does sound
So
official, doesn't
you
it? I'm
well,
just
no,
guessing.
but when
Yeah,
I was watching it, that was my perception.
yeah. No, it's possible. Those ridges don't look real. Like real prosthetics. Cardinal
Like,
Sin says
some people might say that it was nice to bring her back for closure.
closure.
Do you think it's cool to bring her back just for closure?
Well, the only other option would have been that she already died because all the Maquis weren't they all killed in Deep Space Nine mostly for the most part.
Mostly,
Just mostly dead. Like
mostly.
I don't really know about any survivors.
Well, if
And
you were
I guess
lucky,
she's
you were
one of them.
drawn to the Delta Quadrant.
Right. And you were
That's
with
where most
Janeway.
of the Maquis people.
The,
That's where they survive.
right. Like Tuvok survived.
Well,
But he
Tuvok
was a
was
double
under.
agent.
Yes.
He was a double agent, right?
Yeah. No, I'm thinking more about B'Elanna Torres. You know B'Elanna Torres. That
Right.
she's very attractive. She had a baby.
She did with Tom Paris.
Yeah. He also had babies with that Janeway woman.
Yeah, lizard babies.
Iguanas.
Where were
Where
we?
are we in the chat?
Cardinal Sin says, we are all goof people.
Tom Jr. Jackson, one of my good friends, friend of the channel, coined or mistyped. We're all goof people. And we are. Colonel Sin says the port side is the left side facing the front of the ship. Starboard is the right side facing the front of the ship. The problem that I'm going to have with this entire endeavor is if I'm standing on the bridge of the ship, I am looking forward. And so am I thinking about, is port my left? I think port is my left.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I just figured it out. Thank you so much. This has been a learning experience.
And if you forget what left is, you hold up your fingers and make the shape of an L. I'm just kidding. I'm just being.
I am
I'm just
going
being.
to kick you in the shins.
Mega React says, I enjoy Picard's season 3, but it's only 10% Trek.
Well,
That's generous.
No, come on, Jill. It's 10. Like, I would say it's 30. I would say it's 30.
Extremely generous.
That is extremely generous. But I'm just saying, like, I understand why people are liking this. But it's more of it's more of a soap opera of getting to be reunited with the characters and somewhat. Well, no, it can't be that because it's even that. I don't even know.
No, it's definitely a soap opera.
It is a soap opera. I don't know what is.
We should know. We're experts. We're reviewing Quantum Leap, which is also a soap opera.
Yeah. But I'm not prepared for this Star Trek.
No, but it's okay. We're here. PvP
We're here.
says
We can't leave.
we can't leave until we finish the chat. PvP says finished episode 4 and it was not bad. Jill, please do not have brain hemorrhage. I have criticisms. It doesn't sound like I'm having a hemorrhage. Oh, the ship was having a hemorrhage though in the last episode.
True.
Right. Starting episode 5. Drink 3. God help me. Be
There is
careful with
no
all that
God.
drinking.
What does God need with a starship? Doesn't Alan Rickman say by Grabthar's hammer? Yes.
Yeah, by Grabthar's hammer. You shall be avenged. Yeah, but it's a long, bad movie. Yes, agreed.
Like,
So far, I can't argue.
Well, no, but I'm somewhat defeated. I'm sitting here being like, yeah, it's like if I were a person who fell asleep in a movie theater for 10 hours and this is the only thing that was playing, I wouldn't be upset. But
And that is how a lot of the reviewers who are praising this thing saw it. They saw it all together, all at once.
I'm not
And they binged it.
like, is that it that you have to accept this as being transitional to the next, for lack of a better term, generation of Star Trek. But like this is a final bow
An epilogue.
to what we have known. Yes.
I thought that was all good things, though. I liked that epilogue.
Yeah. Too bad.
Too bad.
They made more.
They did. Daniel's Hot Topic says, Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Diddly diddly dee potatoes.
Cardinal Sin says, Voyager has some really good episodes. Around the Hall, it doesn't live up to the other shows in the franchise. Yeah, it's true. Agreed.
Okay, so I'm never mind. I can't even describe the dirty joke that I want to tell.
Okay, so we just won't get to hear it.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Let's make sure. You read this one.
Daniel's Hot Topic says, it's like Salty Trekker says Picard would say Worf, let's explore, whereas Cisco would say, let's go win a war.
Why
well,
can't we do both?
If Salty Trekker says that, then yes. I think that Picard encouraged Worf's exploration boner. And Cisco was like, you know how to work guns. And Worf was like, indeed. And then
yeah, there were many moments in TNG where Worf wants to take the side of trying to, go against, to fire on the ship or to be violent, and Picard's like, no.
Right.
And sometimes Worf is right. And
yeah. But then that's the beauty of seeing him in Deep Space Nine, is that he's usually like, I'm going to go shoot them. And everyone is like, please do. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Worf kills it on the Defiant. Good stuff.
Yes. You know what I don't like about the Deep Space Nine?
What don't you like?
The Ferengi.
Deep Space Nine. The Ferengi.
I think
they're okay. They're okay sometimes. They're really good. I think they're fine. I like the Ferengi. I like to play Tongo.
Well, enjoy.
Thanks.
Cardinal Sin says, you shouldn't review any more episodes of Picard. We must draw the line here.
No farther.
No farther. Well, no, like Cardinal Sin, that's why I put it in the chat. Is I was gonna make an arbitrary move, and I was just gonna be like, no, we're gonna review a Quantum Leap. And Steve said, it was Steve, and he was like, that's a bad idea. And so then Terrier sent me my Star Trek hoodie, which I'm very excited about.
Mm-hmm.
I go to the bus stop like this now. And I was like, okay, then we'll leave it up to the audience.
Yes.
And you guys want us to watch it.
Still true. But it's 55 to 45 now.
But the best part about the Picard season 3, you know what the best part is?
What's the best part?
It'll be over.
It will. Eventually, it'll be done.
Yeah. And what's going to happen after that?
Quantum Leap. I'm excited to get back to Quantum Leap because I bought a book that has some interviews.
I want to hear about it.
Mm-hmm. Kyle Armstrong says, if you're facing the port, the port bow is left. If you're facing the bow, port is left. That makes sense.
Yeah. Scogli says, second starboard to the right and straight on till morning. Yeah, sure.
And then Kyle reminds us of the more you know
But
public service announcement.
I do enjoy that rainbow.
Dalek says, you know how I feel about soap operas, Jill.
Dalek doesn't like soap operas unless they like just turn into hardcore pornography.
Good to know.
Like, no, Dalek's favorite soap operas, right? They have penetration. That's what I heard.
Interesting. I don't know how to respond to this.
Well, no, but it's the 21st century. Come on. Be fair. The only good soap operas are like really graphic.
Oh, okay. That's where we're going now. That's
no, I'm
world
being
today?
No. Well,
because I don't know. I don't really watch any more TV. I'm trying to fill in my science fiction background.
Well, I'm having much more fun doing that.
Yes.
Are we watching a UFO tomorrow?
No, because remember, I've got family things tomorrow. So what I'm doing is having a shore leave right now. If you'd like to join me, in about 35 minutes.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone in the chat is invited.
Yes. And Daniel's Hot Topic says Scotty Zellers is coming back in a week. One will be in Burlington Mall and food trucks serving Zellers food. I guess maybe I didn't have to read this.
Daniel, I will meet you at the Burlington Mall Zellers. DM me.
Okay, so it looks like our poll says that we're watching Picard next week.
We have to then.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what the poll says.
You know what? I feel like I'm disappointing pop culture curator.
We are.
Like he said, are you going to still review something if you don't want to? Are you just going to do it for clicks? And the answer is yes. We are going to continue watching this episode, these shows.
Well, yeah, we're going to continue watching it, but I think we're doing it for the conversation, not just for.
No, I'm only in it because Mega Reacts and shows up and then he pays money.
Yeah, Mega Reacts is pretty awesome. Well,
yeah, that's the only reason I do
his
shows.
Chat. No, that's not true. You're not.
Well, sometimes he gives the channel like money.
I mean, that's pretty fun, but
it's pretty cool.
Also, your chat was really hopping tonight in terms of having some very intelligent reactions to this episode and opinions, both positive and negative. It was a good balance.
It was. Well, and that's the thing, is that if you love this show, I don't understand why. If you hate this show, I don't get it. So
I hate it.
Yeah, that I don't understand. It doesn't deserve it.
I'm not sorry.
I didn't ask you for an apology. No, I did ask you for your opinion, but you don't have to apologize to me. You have nothing to explain.
Okay, good. Dog451 says, I'm from the UK. All we make is soap operas and dramas. It's hell.
You're from UCK?
Yeah, he's from Uck, not the UK. And Euler
Well,
Greg is surprised that Picard is so much better, and that is literally Greg
like
thinks. I mean,
I am curious in the
it,
chat.
it's
I am
technically not wrong. Better than seasons 1 and 2.
if
Yeah.
you give this episode of Star Trek a scale from 1 to 10, what do you give it? Like, I'm gonna give it a 4.
Mm.
If you have a vote, use your keyboard. It's numeric. Anyway,
Like 4 if it didn't label itself Star Trek, maybe. But labeling
what
itself
do
Star
you
Trek,
give it?
I'd give it more of a 2.
Wow. You hate this show so
I
much.
do. No, I do.
And that's part of the reason why we have to keep watching it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Is because the audience hates you.
Yes, the audience hate. Well, no, it makes sense. I've been looking at these comments on other videos talking about this show, and people love this thing.
Yeah.
It's a thing that's happening.
Well, and you know what the weird thing is? I'm usually like when I interact with people, and when I start talking about the filth, I give it credence. Like, I allow it to exist. You don't.
Right. 735 Club.
Exactly. But you count Nemesis. So
But I
you're
count
still
Nemesis.
wrong.
Well, no, because there's 725 episodes of Star Trek and 10 movies, including Nemesis, yes.
And Nemesis is ass.
Well, ass doesn't mean that it's not Star Trek.
It isn't Star Trek.
Euler Greg says, I will rate the episode green.
Really? Okay, I'm fine with that.
It sounds like a rating for this live stream.
Well,
Skogly
then
says,
let's. What does Skogly say?
Skogly says, for new Trek, this was an easy 7.
Oh yeah, for new Trek, this was a 7. Sure. But that still makes it like a 4 or a 3 in the 735.
Yeah. Cardinal Sin says, I haven't seen it, and from the sounds of it, I am not going to.
You know what? Maybe what if it's a 6? Jill, what if you're making me more negative than I want to be?
It's only you are in charge of your emotions and opinions. I don't have anything to do with them.
What if you're a Cardassian?
I don't have any control over your mind. I don't have any powers of mind control. I don't have any kind of devices that are hooked into your memory circuits. Memory synapses.
I wish you would. So anyway, are we done with the chat?
Yes, we are done.
Did you have anything you wanted to say? Did you want to advertise it? Anything?
Do better, Terry.
Well, we're still gonna watch this next week.
Yeah, I know.
So we'll find out. But it's not. It was fine. It was fine. It was a fine episode to watch and talk about. I'm not angry.
It was a thing, and it made some logical progression. The story progressed logically.
It was really dismissive to Ro. I wish they weren't so dismissive to Ro.
But yes, right after 20 minutes and 28
everyone
minutes,
is really old.
Yes, well, that can't be helped. That's the passage of time. I don't blame them for that.
I don't blame them.
But you're right. I do have a channel, Antiderivative, and tonight in 27 minutes, I'm going to have a shore leave, and so we can go have fun doing that. St. Patrick's Day.
It is apparently very Irish.
And on Tuesday, I review the original series. Oh, but I don't know. Oh, right. The next episode is The City on the Edge of Forever.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Harlan Ellison. It's going to be fun. Time travel. The Guardian of
Well,
Forever.
yes. Yes. We'll talk about it on Tuesday. It's going to take forever. And yet I know that you have a limited amount of time.
I do. Good one.
Well, super jazzed. Subscribe to Antiderivative Jill. And thank you, everyone, especially my favorite lap dance, Mega Reacts. Cardinal Sin, thank you for being here. Euler Greg, you are shiny. Dalek451, I love your
Skokely.
body. Daniel's Hot Topics, like you have the best shoes. Kyle Armstrong, I need to know where you get your cologne.
Because he smells good.
He does. He smells great. PvP. Where did you get those headphones? Lemon pie.
Milk in this.
Can you put milk in this? That's what I'm asking you, Lemon pie. Thank you so much for being here. I am slowly scrolling up and losing listeners as I do. Mega. The entire thing is peppered with mega. Anyway, Euler Greg, I'm sure that there are other people, but it's over. Like, the show's over. So if you would care to go anywhere else, I would recommend it. Next week, we are going to be talking about the next episode of Picard. And I look forward to you joining us. And thank you for being here for this. So, without what do we say on this show? Oh, right. Hailing frequencies. Hang on a second. For sure, hailing frequencies closed.